All right, it has been a while since my last video. Life is busy. This is going to be a video, if you look, I'm still on FSD version 13.2.8. It has been a long time since we've had an update besides some bug fixes. Probably the longest stretch since I've had the car. So I don't know if something big is coming or if Elon's just lack of presence with Tesla right now is impacting it. But this is a good time to see where we're at today with FSD version 13. I'm going to go to some known problem spots, and that's not because I just want to show everyone how bad it is. I think full self-driving is great. I use it 90% of the time easy. I just might not use it if I'm running to my kid's school, which is, you know, half a mile away. But other than that, I use it pretty much everywhere. So it works fantastic, but I do have some trouble spots that continue to come up. So what we're going to do today is go to those spots and see what the current state of full self-driving is. What are these nuances they need to fix? And this will be a good baseline for the new version that comes out soon. So we're going to do some self-driving, and I'll make some comments, and I'm sure we're going to get into some squirrely spots. This will be fun. Yeah, I guess I should just start full self-driving from here. And I will be using just the standard profile for full self-driving this whole time, as opposed to hurry or chill. So we're already self-driving right out of the driveway. It's not going to give me a choice of a profile, I think, until we're over 25 miles an hour. It's a really pretty day for this. First test will be right here. There's an azalea bush on the right, completely blocks the right side view. It's hard for me, even as a human. So it'll be a little bit of guesswork, and hopefully we're not stuck in the intersection dodging a car. Oh, this is a great time to mention. I'm very excited about this. I'll maybe put up the notice on the side real quick. The next update for Tesla, the spring update, which includes more than full self-driving. It includes typically like interface changes and even feature changes. It's going to bring the B-pillar camera recordings to Sentry mode and to dash cam. That is like the most requested feature, has to be the most requested feature. And if you don't know what they are, the A pillars, if you can see my fingers here, are just the pillars that hold up the roof. So either A pillars are here in the front next to the windshield, B pillars are between the front and rear doors, the kind of the middle thing, and then your C pillars are on either side of the rear windshield. So we've got cameras in the B pillars. You see those round spots next to your door when you're opening it. Those cameras are critical for full self-driving, and I think they're the most critical for seeing what's going on around you. So it's amazing that they're going to be bringing that and bringing access to that to dash cam and Sentry cam. So I'm extremely excited about that. All right, backing it down to standard profile, and here we go. Let's see what happens. I did move the GoPro too. I hope there's not a ton of shake in this video. So I'll do my best to maybe stabilize it. Alright, so the first stop is we're going to the... Alright, so the first stop is the Starbucks here. Number one, I hate the fact that it takes this route. It does it every time. I believe this is a mapping error. Like, it needs to update the map. You can see my finger. We can go straight through this intersection and turn left to get directly at that Starbucks. For some reason, the map that the Tesla has not been updated to show that street, even though it's been there forever. So it's going to go the back way through this kind of mall parking lot. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's just a little bothersome that it just won't take a more direct route because the mapping is off. So I really hope they bring a significant update to mapping, and hopefully that even includes real-time data from like the cameras. You know, if I'm driving and these cameras are seeing that there's a road, I would hope that they would send that feedback back to Tesla to improve their mapping and navigation, right? So I really hope that that can happen at some point. And also, now I chose this for a reason, so I don't actually want to go to Starbucks. I just wanted to get into this parking lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the trip, and I'm going to remove the Starbucks so we don't actually go in there. Perfect. Now we're just going. Because there's some construction here. And yes, it's going to try and take us directly through the construction. There is no outlet. So I just want to see what the Tesla will try and do. It's very likely I may have to take over, but let's see what it attempts to do. All the outlet here is blocked. Also, I was here yesterday, and I think it also wanted me to go right and then left out that way, and there is no left out of there, so this will be very interesting. I will be prepared to brake. Please don't turn into a gate. Yeah, can't. Okay. So, what's it gonna do? Alright, it's gonna continue straight. This is good. It's kind of driving by sight now. We can't turn. I wonder if it's gonna try and turn. Okay. Still feels kind of silly when it does things like that, but it will course correct. We're gonna drive over gravel here. Okay, but it has found an outlet. Will it turn? It's supposed to turn that way. Okay, I guess it's going to go actually further back in the parking lot, make that turn. That's acceptable. All right. Test one passed. It found construction and has altered navigation visually to find a way out. I will note, though, that what it seemed to do was to drive by vision, only get to the next place on the map that it knew. So it drove by vision just long enough to get to another map-based exit versus relying fully on vision and not having a map exit point. I don't know if that detail matters, but to me it does. All right, and we'll have us. Might fast forward through the next section just because I'm trying to get to the next target point, which is probably 7 or 8 minutes away. Okay, so this is interesting. Going to Goodwill, you can actually go this back way, which is actually the way it's planning on leaving, which is what I want. But it's going to loop out to the main streets and loop in. Definitely some interesting navigation choices it makes sometimes. Would definitely love a feature, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, Kind of like Chat GPT or even Grok now has a memory feature where it can remember things about me, like my preferences. You know, prefer, parking lot routing over main street routing, or, avoid this road or something. It would just be nice. So I feel like it drives more like me, and I feel like I can be more responsible for supervising it if it drives more like me. Second test, and I realize as I'm doing this route today to do this testing, any problems we might have are probably more indicative of the map software and navigation than they are even a full self-driving. Let's see, is this place even open? I hope not. I don't want to fool anybody. So I'm going to, I don't actually want to go around. Perfect. All right. So I've made a change. Now let's see what it does. What's it gonna do? We're going to Ollie's. This place isn't even open yet, so it is impressive. It actually does the drive-through. There's no one here, so we're gonna continue through. This place is not open. Leaving here is interesting. So that's what we're testing now, because there's a straight path right there. And I don't believe it's gonna take the straight path that it can see. It's gonna try and go this weird way. And that's what I wanted to test. Hold on, it's thinking. Yeah, we're not going straight. Again, this is probably more of a mapping and navigation issue. But you would think that full self-driving would see that straight path and say, hey, maybe that's a better way to go. But it doesn't. I mean, we're still driving. We're still gonna get there. So I guess I won't knock it too bad, but just, again, maybe it's the navigation that I have so much trouble with. Let's see what it does here. Don't take me off the edge. Yeah, we could have come just straight on through, but those are places where people that use full self-driving might have a preferential disengagement, because just like, why? So silly. Oh, I'm not actually gonna go to Ollie's. Let's go. So it responded immediately to that change. Now instead of going straight, we are going right, which is good. All right, 2 for 2 on self-driving. Self-driving is doing great. I would say we're 2 for 2 on navigation. I don't know if you'd call it a failure, or just like, could definitely be better. All right, we've got a green arrow with the red light, and we're rolling through. Another good test there. Might have to disengage after we get to CVS, because I don't want to go through the pharmacy drive-through. My goal is to approach this intersection from the left, because the lane markings are extremely interesting, and self-driving just approaches it in a very unique way. It tries to okay, it's going to try and take me out here. So I will disengage at this time, only because I want to take a very specific route for this test that it is not going to do based on the last minute changes I'm making. So I'll explain what happened there in a moment. Full self-driving or autopilot will not turn on if there's that I've noticed, if there's a large speed mismatch. All right, hold on. So this is the interesting part. This is the straightaway lane. It's really wide. There's room for a car to turn that way. This is an appropriate way to approach going straight. However, what I normally do is kind of aim more that way. Full self-driving is kind of holding the line more over here, so we're gonna have to do this little snake pattern through the intersection. Not incorrect. It's probably not as human as I would like. But the truck, hey, the truck in front of me is taking the same approach as the Tesla, so maybe that's just a preference thing. So this looks good. So let me explain. Full self-driving or autopilot will not turn on if there's a large mismatch between the speed at which you should be driving and the speed at which you're going. So if you're like, I don't know, really under the speed limit, or maybe I think it happens more when you're over the speed limit, but sometimes when you're under, like, it just won't turn on right away. I've noticed. I don't have very specific criteria for that, but just I noticed that the closer I get to the speed I should be traveling, then suddenly it turns on. So that is what it is. So that was a good test. It handled that intersection fairly well. I mean, the navigation was correct, and it did good. I've been there before, and it tried to go left out of the straight lane for some weird reason. I don't know, but this seems to be working good. Wow, there's a car show. Let me bring my Tesla Model 3 up there and see how impressed they are. Probably not. All right, and with that, that's really all I wanted to test. Just some little tricky spots I've noticed. Full self-driving did great. Again, I think more of my troubles might actually be navigation and map based. A few things I've noticed with some of the bug fixes lately, and then I'll end the video. I have noticed, though, some more inconsistencies for small things. When I'm going home, I have to make a sharp turn right. Sometimes it still wants to go left. It almost feels like 50-50 now. I feel like that's gone backwards a bit. It still makes some questionable lane choices, but overall it's still a fantastic product. I personally feel like with the bug fixes they've rolled out software-wise, I've actually noticed more bugs while driving, but I don't get those on film all the time. So I would say it's a good test. The state of driving, full self-driving version 13.2, it's great. I use it everywhere. It drives me everywhere. It does a fantastic job. And I cannot wait to see what version 14 brings. Elon mentioned, I'll try and find the post on X. He mentioned accelerating the push for unsupervised full self-driving. Possibly this year, if memory serves me correctly. So that's phenomenal. That means that the leap, there will be a substantial leap in full self-driving technology to get to unsupervised, because you really have to handle the edge cases and the nuance of just things that you can't adequately plan for. And previous release notes, I'll put them back up, there was talk of improving the context length. I think it was about like 5 times or something. And what that means is, instead of making decisions based on a freeze frame of what the Vision AI sees, it'll make a decision with longer context. What has everything looked like for the past 5, 10, 15 seconds of driving, to make a decision based on that. It's a lot like right now, the way AI works in Vision AI is a lot like if you're driving with your eyes shut, you open your eyes briefly, take in a glance, and then make a decision. You shut your eyes and make a decision. If you could like pause your driving and make a decision only in that moment. That's how it works now. But with the longer context length, it'll be equivalent to, okay, driving with your eyes shut, you open them, and then you open them for 15 seconds, and then think like you pause it like a movie. Now what choice would you make? And you would make a smarter, wiser choice having 15 seconds of, you know, taking in the context of surroundings and what's going on, you'd make a far better decision than just opening your eyes for a second and making a decision. So that's the large improvement that'll be coming with full self-driving. I cannot wait for that. I think that alone will be what gets it past most of these edge cases and really makes it just an unbeatable product. It already is, but you know, every time I think they can't improve it that much more, they do. So longer context length, unsupervised driving possibly as well. Some great things on the horizon, and the B-pillar camera support. Now, that does mean though that there'll be 2 extra camera feeds that record to your USB drive, right? Or that you can download to your phone. So your recordings might take up a little bit more space, might not be able to store as much history. So, you know, if that's really big on that, you might want to upgrade your USB drive to a larger capacity when that spring update comes with the extra camera support. And with that, we will just finish the drive home. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, that was the final test. So sometimes it wants to make a left turn there, even though the navigation always shows rounding that turn. I don't know why. It feels like a 50-50. We were lucky this time. It did the right thing. I'd love to see that be more reliable, but you have to take my word for it that it's not always reliable there.